Hello, this is a simple demonstration of what I did for the Weka Lab challenge. To start off, I began exploring the package manager tools because when I open up Weka, I get a pop-up that encouraged me to check them out. So as you can see, when you click through here, you can find out about all the different already built-in packages that you can install in Weka. There's many different classifiers, things like that. I did do some reading on the effective tweets, however, I didn't choose to go that route. Instead, I chose the analogical modeling because I have a psych background and they had really clear instructions if you follow this link here on how to use the data. Here in the instructions, and it also has some sample data that you can work with. So I'm going to go through that really quickly. So in the Explorer, you can open up one of the files. I'm going to go ahead and actually use the second file I began to manipulate, which is a much larger file. So you can see here that I have this adult.r file, which I actually had to learn how to convert from a CSV to an R file. And I will go ahead and link those directions in my write-up. But it was very interesting. It's pretty simple if you have a CSV and have a list of all the attributes. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And you can see my data here. So this data took some census information and gauged whether or not the income is above $50,000 annually. And you can see the different amounts here. So obviously, like, there's different attributes. One thing I couldn't figure out though was what this attribute is. You can see the values here, the real values. They did a really good job of describing all the attributes except for this one. And the rest are pretty self-explanatory, like level of education, which is a categorical, and then numbers of years in education, your marital status, but F and L WGT, I'm not sure. So maybe somebody else has an idea what that is. Anyway, so we can go in and use our classifier. So following the directions that I showed you on GitHub, you go to the Weka, lazy, analogical modeling. So you can see when I clicked it, I don't know if you can tell in the screen share, that it's grayed out. You can see. I'm going to go ahead and try to run it anyway because we're learning and that's what we're doing. So the directions tell you to go ahead and change it to your file that you're using here. And more options, predictions, analogical modeling. I know I'm going fast, but you can follow along on the instructions. And then you can see here that the start button is grayed out. So I figured out that it would not allow me to run this because when you hold over this, it gives you more information about the analogical modeling. And it says capabilities, it doesn't stay very long though. Attributes, binary, nominal, missing values, nominal. There is no real or continuous attributes listed here. So this model can't handle this data that I selected. And I thought that was super helpful to learn and to think about. You have to pick the right model for your data. So because I couldn't do that, I did go ahead and use this model that we went over with the, here we go, J48 that we went over in our examples already. And you can see here that the attributes listed, it has numeric attributes that it can handle. So, and you can see now that my start button is lit up. Do remember that our output predictions are using this analogical model. And I probably should have had this already done because you can see it took a long time and it has this weird grayed out background. So let's look at our decision tree. It's pretty hard to see because of the grayed out. I'm not 100% sure why it's grayed out. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the plain text output and see if that helps. You can see all the instances it's running, and now it's finished. This one is not grayed out. So I'm thinking because the output was the analogical model for this one, that it's grayed out because it's not meant to handle this type of data. But for some reason it still let us run it. Not sure. But you can see how it classified the data. It correctly classified 5,200 about, incorrectly classified 1,300, correctly classified 23,000, incorrectly classified 2,500. So, I mean, I'm still learning, but these numbers look pretty good so far. And we can also look at our decision tree, which is up here further. It was a pretty big data set that I was able to pull. I'll also link my data set in my information, and you can see the decision tree. So you can see capital gain is one of the first deciding factors, marital status, capital loss, number of years of education, and hours per week someone worked. I thought it was interesting that age is so low as a deciding factor. I would think the older you are, the higher income you've earned, but I thought that was interesting. You can also visualize the data, which is something I hadn't messed with until looking at another student's screenshots. And I thought it was very helpful to see the two attributes compared against each other. So hours per week and income. You can see how, oh, I actually don't want to look at this. We can look at sex and hours per week. Open. Oh, no. You can tell that I'm still learning how to use this. Let's do it this way. Sex and income. No, sex and hours per week. There we go. So male, female, and you can see the different instances in the X's mapped through here, which I thought was interesting. So yeah, that is my screen share. Please let me know if you have any questions, tips, or if you have an idea what that attribute, I don't know, is labeled. Thanks for watching.